Karibuni to Aromo Zanzibar's kitchen. Today we're going to make this very delicious, very soft cinnamon roll bread in a brioche style. So I'm going to start by preparing the yeast, and I have used half a cup of all-purpose flour, quarter cup of granulated sugar, 2¼ teaspoons of instant yeast, and a quarter cup of lukewarm milk. So we're just going to mix this well till you get a nice thick paste. And after that, just cover it and let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes or until your mixture is nice and frosty. So once that's done, I'm going to sift the flour. I've used three and a half cups of all-purpose flour. So total for this recipe, I have used 4 cups of all-purpose flour that I will mention it in grams in the description box below. I forgot to add the salt, so I'm going to use the salt here, which is about half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon. Okay, then we're going to add the yeast mixture, which is very thick, as you can see, and then the eggs, 2 whole eggs that are in room temperature. It's very important to have the ingredients in room temperature. A little bit of vanilla, and quarter cup of butter, also in room temperature, and 3/4 cup of milk. So the milk in this recipe is 1 cup total that I have used. So you're just going to mix this well and combine. It's important to have the ingredients in room temperature because they're going to blend quicker and easily without overworking the dough. Because I wanted this bread to have a half cake texture. All right, so we're just gonna use a spatula and fold it in like that. And then once that's done, just got my bowl ready here. I just changed it, cleaned it, and then just put oil here so that it allows the dough to rise easily without sticking on the side of the bowl. Just cover it and let it sit for about 30 to an hour, minutes to an hour, or it depends on the warmth of the kitchen. All right. So in the meantime, I'm getting ready. I've used the loaf pan, as you can see, greasing it with butter. You can use oil or you can use shortening. It all works. And then we're going to prepare the sugar. I've used about 4 tablespoons of granulated sugar. And I started with 1 teaspoon of cinnamon powder. Then I added another half. You can add more if you wish. So the dough is ready. It's very nice and soft, and it's also very, very sticky. Just punch it down. And we're going to clear the area. I've got some all-purpose flour that we're going to put it on the surface there. Like I mentioned, it's very sticky. I'm just going to keep the dough. And I'm just going to use my fingers to spread it. You don't have to use a rolling stick, but if you want, you can go ahead and do it. Now the length, you can keep it as long as you want, but the width, I just wanted to keep it about 7 to 8 inches because somehow when I lift the dough, since it's very soft, it tends to stretch. All right, so I didn't want to keep it very wide. Okay, about 7 to 8 inches, that should be fine. All right, just using the rolling pin there. It's not necessary, but just to keep things even. Then just gonna spread the butter. Also, the butter is in room temperature. That's about a quarter cup. So I have used half a cup of butter for this total recipe. That's about 100 grams. Okay, just gonna spread it well. Then once that's done, we're gonna sprinkle the sugar. Now I have used 4 tablespoons of the sugar, and I left 1 tablespoon for a later use. Just gonna cover all the areas with the sugar. You can also use brown sugar, that will work, not only white sugar. So brown sugar works well. Then we're just gonna roll this as gently and also tight if you can make it, which is quite difficult, but and then that's about it. Just have to. Okay, then once that's done, I've got the seam here because I want to seal the seam by just pinching it. Then we're going to keep the seam at the bottom. We're going to tuck these ends and the other side as well. We're going to keep the seam at the bottom. You're going to split open the center. You want to make sure you're using a very sharp knife here. Leave about half an inch or to an inch at the top, and then at the end you're going to cut it through. I was trying not to have my hands all over the camera, so okay, and then you're going to flip the cut side to the top like that. I'm sorry about that, but this is what happens when you shoot your own videos. All right, and then we're going to twist. Okay, gonna twist this just like that. This is just like the Estonian crinkle that I have made. All right, yeah, that recipe was a bit too dry, so I decided to do the brioche style for this recipe, and it turned out perfect. So once that's rolled, as you can see, it's become very long. Then you're gonna tuck, and then you're gonna make it like that, shorter, so that it can fit into the pan. And then once that's done, just cover it, and for about half an hour it should be ready. I'm preparing the egg wash, and the oven is ready at 200 degrees Celsius. That's about 390 Fahrenheit. And then we're gonna egg wash. I've put about a tablespoon of water. The egg, just gonna seal all the sugar and the butter, especially. So we're gonna egg wash the whole thing. Also for the color, it gives a really, really beautiful color. And this bread is perfect for breakfast, for brunch, for an evening tea. Then we're gonna sprinkle the rest of the brown sugar, the sugar mixture. Then you're gonna bake these for about 20 to 25 minutes, not longer than that, because you don't want it to be too dry. So now, as you can see, our bread is ready. Just gonna take it out and then let it cool for about 10 minutes, and then remove it from the pan. And it's very soft and very delicate. Then now we are ready to slice it, and it smells amazing. The whole house was smelling cinnamon. So thank you so much. For more recipes, please visit me at Aromo Zanzibar. You'll find all the ingredients and the measurements in the description box below, and also on this very last page. Thank you.